Hey, hey, hey! It's the Pacific Northwest GQ Echo! Damn it, Jim! I'm a horror tuber, not a brain surgeon. Hero here, cha, cha, cha. And I'm back for another entry into the 2024 80s week. And for my fourth movie, I will be boldly going where no echo has gone before. That's right, I am looking at the 1982 movie Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And this is my motto for the Reliant. I just need to put the decals on and put everything together. But right now I'm out of motor glue. This 1982 movie is a sequel to the 1967 episode from season 1, Space Seed, in which the Enterprise finds the Botany Bay adrift in space, and everybody on it is in suspended animation, and they wake up one of them, Khan, who turns on his rescuers and tries to basically kill them, take over the ship, blah, 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 all this stuff. But they beat him and exile him and one of the crew members, Lieutenant Marla McGivers, who's fallen for him. They abandon him on City Alpha 5. Remember that name, City Alpha 5. And Spock at the end makes a comment about it would be interesting to come back in 100 years or so and see what has happened, what that's come of that world. Anyways, now it's years later. I don't know exactly how many. I'm sure at one point I did, but I don't know anymore. We open up, and we see the bridge of the Enterprise. Everybody but Kirk and Chekhov is there. Chekhov, we come to find out, is basically now been recommissioned on a ship called the Reliant. This one, a little tidbit. When apparently this was designed, it was originally designed to look kind of like that, with the nacelles above the salsa. But whoever was supposed to approve the designs opened it upside down and saw it like that and signed off on it. Good move. I like that design. Anyways, we are introduced to the Kobayashi Maru, which is basically when the Kobayashi Maru was introduced with this movie. And the crew's trying to save this spaceship called the Kobayashi Maru, who has somehow ended up in the neutral zone, or the clear, whatever. And some Klingon battlecruisers appear, destroy it, has the Enterprise is trying to save it, and then the Enterprise itself is destroyed. Everybody dies, but Chekhov and Kirk. Oh, no, Spock, Uhura, Sulu, Bones. Although we're going to find out none of it's real, it's a test. The Kobayashi Maru is a no-win scenario where they can sit there and test out a cadet and see how they would react and handle being put in a situation that basically it's no-win. We later come to find out that Kirk is the only guy to ever beat the Kobayashi Maru and save the people. Come to find out because he cheated, because the night before he went in and hacked reprogrammed everything. In the 2013 movie, was it? Into the Darkness, I believe it is. We get to see how he does it. We also get to see that Spock apparently was the one that programmed it, and he's not too happy that Kirk did this. But anyways, it's Kirk's birthday, and because it's Kirk's birthday, and he's not only feeling like he's feeling his son to feel his age, but he's also seeing all these young cadets coming in, and time's catching up with him and the rest of the old crew. Which, by the way, yes, the old crew is there. We have William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelley, James Doohan, George Takei, Walter King, and Nicole Nichols. And we're joined by Sarek, played by Kirstie Alley. Apparently this is her film debut. Who is like Spock's little protege. Oh, she was originally supposed to be part Romulan, part Vulcan, so she would display a little bit more emotion. She still does in one scene. But anyways, has no feeling old. We come to find that Chekhov's been assigned to the Reliant, and they're looking, because this thing called the Genesis device, this is this device you can fire at a planet, lifeless world, like I was saying, a moon, and it can basically, like, guess what, terraform it, make it so that you got breathable air, soil that will support plant life, drinkable water. Anyways, they're looking for a war, and they're looking at Ceti Alpha 6. Well, there's something on Ceti Alpha 6. So they go down there, and they're looking at this ship they find there. And they go in, they're looking around. Chekhov sees this buckle, he's looking at the buckle, he sees his name. Botany Bay. Botany Bay. Botany Bay. Botany Bay! He tells his commander, we need to get the hell out of here. We need to get out of here now. When they go, they put the helmets on, go outside. There's all these people standing around. Take them inside. All of these people take off their helmets, but one person, who as he slowly takes it off, it's Khan. And they're confused on why he's doing there, because Ceti Alpha 5 was supposed to have all this life and be supportive for them, not like this barren wasteland. He should be on Ceti Alpha 5, not Ceti Alpha 6. But he informs them that no, they're on Ceti Alpha 5. That Ceti Alpha 6, a few months after they got left there, it went kablooey and basically caused turmoil on Ceti Alpha 5. And that Captain Kirk, but he comes to find that no, it's not. When Chekhov's officer goes, well, I don't know anything about Admiral Kirk. I never met him. Khan's like, Admiral. Anyways, he goes on to put these bugs in the ears so he can control them. And he basically hijacks the Reliant and apparently must have took the crew and marooned them down there. He's out to get the Genesis device, which is among the scientists working on it is Carol and David Marcus. Dr. Carol Marcus is an ex of Captain Kirk's. Admiral Kirk's. Admiral. And David, well, David Marcus is actually David Kirk. That's Admiral Kirk's son. And they're not too happy because they find out the Reliant is coming for there, but they're not too happy about that. So she goes to contact Kirk. He goes, what the hell are you doing? Because they're told that Kirk is giving them permission, the authorization to come and take the Genesis device. So the Enterprise now decides to go there. During the time, we also meet this young man who works in engineering, who, as we go to find out in the novelization, and I don't know if maybe there's a cut scene for it, this young man is the nephew of Scotty. Anyways, as they'll go in there, the Enterprise is encountered by the Reliant. And everything seems a little off. It seems okay, but something off. Then the Reliant opens fire on the Enterprise, severely damaging it, killing multiple crew members, severely injuring the nephew of Scotty. The Enterprise is able to fight back and damage the Excelsior, causing the Excelsior to run away, while the Enterprise goes towards the lab, space station, where Genesis is working on to find out what the hell's going on. As they're doing this, the door for the bridge opens, and there's Scotty holding the severely injured body of his nephew. And we get to see a little bit of that emotion from Sarek. He's like, even Spock, you see Spock, he just kind of does this. And we get the scene when they're in the sick bay, and there's all these bodies, and Scotty's saying that his nephew would not leave his station. He stood his ground, and his nephew asks Kirk, is the order given? And he tells him, the order's given, full speed. Scotty's nephew dies. It's like he wanted to hear that order, that he wasn't going to die unless he got the order that it was okay to die. Damn. It's one of the more memorable deaths in... It was 13 movies. From 1979 to 2016, there were 13 movies. And there's a lot of deaths in these movies, but this is one of the more memorable ones. The whole, is the order given, is ship okay, or whatever it was he says. Anyways, they make it to the space station, and they find dead bodies. But they don't find the device. They don't find David. They don't find Carol. They eventually, they find Chekhov and his captain, and then they find out that there is this on the moon that the space station is in the orbit over. There's something going on there, and they beam down there and they find everybody, the survivors. But we find out that, well, they find out that Chekhov and the other guy under control of Khan. The one guy kills himself, and they able to knock out Chekhov, but Khan gets the Genesis device. We also, this week, come to find out about David being Kirk's son. We find out about the Kobayashi Maru, how Kirk did this. And eventually this also, they're able to get out of there, out to the Enterprise, and we get this final battle between Khan and the Enterprise that ends with basically the Excelsior, everybody but Khan's pretty much dead, and he sets off the Genesis device, it kablooey, but the Enterprise can't get out of there, so Spock sacrifices his life to save everybody. And we get a new world, we get Spock's funeral, and a scene of the torpedo with Spock's body on the planet. Now, Spock would come back in the next movie, The Search for Spock, because we find out that the Genesis device rejuvenated his body, but his soul, or what his conscience, was put into Bones' body, and they got to get them together to save the day. And we get introduced to the Klingon Bird of Prey. It's this movie and the third movie and the sixth movie, Part 6, are some of my favorite movies in all of the 13 movies. Now, Dr. Karen Marcus, and Khan would come back in the 2013, is it? Star Trek movie, in that new timeline. With Makoto Montalban Makoto Montalban played Khan in the TV show, and this. The new Khan is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Awesome job. I remember watching the trailers, and I didn't read any spoilers when that movie came out. I didn't see anything in the trailers saying who his character was. It isn't until I went to the theater and they asked me, "Hey, all your info, there's something wrong. Who are you really?" He's like, "I am Khan." I got goosebumps on my hands and arms. And the theater. I really do enjoy this movie. That's why I got the model, because the Reliant and the Excelsior are two ships I loved the designs. And now, if you've seen this movie, tell me what you think about this. What are your favorite? What is you guys? If you're a fan of Star Trek, if you watch the movies, and there's 13 movies, quite possibly soon to be 15, because there's 2 movies that are rumored to be worked on. But if of those 13 movies, which ones do you guys like? Now, look at this one, the third one, and the sixth one are my favorites. Also, I call this the Genesis trilogy, because you have this one that introduced the Genesis device. The next one, we're kind of seeing what the Genesis device has done. And the fourth movie, Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, I consider it to be like, they got to come back to, after everything's happened in those 2 movies, now they're going to come back to save the planet. And the Klingons are upset because the Klingons basically are trying to hide that they are the dicks. Sarek would go on to appear in the third movie, now played, because in this movie was Christy Alley, and Robin Curtis took over for the Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, and had a cameo in Star Trek: The Voyage Home, and I think it was implied that she might have been pregnant with Spock's kid. David dies in the next movie, and there really is I don't remember any mention of him or his death until the fourth movie, when they kind of whole thing about Kirk hasn't forgiven the Klingons, and he would never forgive them for what they did to David. Great scene, by the way, when Kirk finds out his son died. His reaction. Anyways, I gotta go. I gotta go pick what would be movie number 5. So I hope everybody is enjoying 80s week, and I will see you on the... Nope, let's change that. I'm the Pacific Northwest geek here, Echo Zero, and I would live long and prosper. Toodaloo.